Yo, ViivviiX here with another series called ViivviiX's Video Game Survival Guides. And of course on this train of Persona 3 content, that's also the first topic of focus for my other series, the V-Files.
You should go check that out.
Which both will eventually span out to other games and eventually other game series. But for now, most tips will apply to both versions, FES and P3P, but I did personally only play FES, so there won't be any portable exclusive content tips. A trend you may notice if you have seen any of my other content, I like to keep things organized and structured, so these will be the points of interest I will be segmenting the information into. Segment 0 will be Velvet Room tips, Segment 1 will be combat tips, Segment 2 will be Tartarus tips, Segment 3 will be the Overworld tips, Segment 4 will be Social Link tips, 5 will be just rapid fire random tips. With that out of the way, as Akihiko would say,
I've been waiting for this.
Inherited skills during Persona Fusion. Even though you can't select the moves inherited manually, you can continue to back out and back into the fusion you are currently looking to make, and change which skills are listed on the new Persona skills that will be inherited. It's not always worth it, but for someone like me, I would sit there for 20 minutes plus attempting to get a specific set of moves, which I was usually rewarded for the effort and my patience.
Patience.
Sometimes patience is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it.
And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing.
Make a starter persona. Use a persona as your starter in battle. What I mean by this is make one persona who has at least all the auto kaja spells. Auto Matara Kaja, Auto Masuku Kaja, and Auto Maraku Kaja.
Autobots, roll out! We roll!
At least for most ordinary fights, to be able to just start the whole party with a buff for each category, attack, accuracy, evade, and defense is pretty big. It can keep you from getting wiped if ambushed and will make it a lot easier to keep random battles to just a couple turns. And at least in FES, there isn't a setting to remember what persona you had equipped at the beginning of your last fight, so remember to hop into your active personas and equip your starter persona. Register, register, register. At least in FES, not sure about portable. If you fuse a new persona you don't have in your compendium, the compendium version of them will only have their default skills. And not the ones you inherited. So make sure to get into a good habit of registering a persona after fusing it. Otherwise it will be in the compendium with whatever default moves it would have as if you picked it up in Tartarus's shuffle time. Getting into the combat tips. Play portable or emulate a modded version of FES. Play portable or emulate a modded version of FES if you want the most out of the combat system, being able to control your playable party members instead of having to rely on the AI or combat tactics system. Not saying you have to, but it is a friendly suggestion that I personally think just makes the game more enjoyable from start to end. One more and weaknesses. The one more and weakness system in Persona 3 causes an already down target to get up if struck again once in the down state. It can work in your advantage, but also can work against you if not careful. And a side note regarding if you can have any of an elemental resistance, nullification, or repellent, repelling is the most dangerous of the bunch, as most enemies drain or repel the elements they tend to cast on you. So if you just end up repelling their attack, it'll just insta-heal them, delaying combat more than needed.
You triggered my trap card!
Oh, please, I dare you. I double dog dare you. Come on, make my day. Make my freaking day. Oh, no, it heals them. Okay, never mind. I thought you were gonna use a different spell. Ooh.
Scan, scan, scan. Speaking of weaknesses, make sure to, at the beginning of a fight, to scan your enemies. It's just a good habit to get into. Even more so if you are playing a version of Persona 3 that doesn't have controllable party members, as even if a boss, it might not show you on the info panel that pops up what the boss is weak to, but it will inform the AI of what they should or shouldn't do, avoiding things like using an attack that ends up being repelled, drained, and more. Turn order. Turn order seems to be affected by the order in which the party members are ordered in your party lineup for the initial first round of a fight, but starting the second rotation of turns, it will begin to order people's turns in order of who has the highest to lowest agility. An example of this is the fact when I used Akihiko, I would put him directly after the protagonist so I could go ahead and use his debuff sooner. That way the people following right after him will get the benefit of the debuff. Like when I lower the enemy's defense, the subsequent party members will get a boost to their first turn's damage output. Accuracy matters. Accuracy matters a lot. I personally will go for a weapon with a bit lower damage output for a weapon that hits more reliably. Personally, avoiding a weapon if below 89 accuracy, as for some weapon types they just normally have abnormally low accuracy, two-handed swords, hammers, and bows more often than not. XP and fallen friends. Revive any fallen party members if at all possible before finishing a battle if you want them to receive the XP for it as well. Party members who were unconscious at the end of battle get absolutely none at all. I'd suggest it even more if doing a boss fight, as they can be some of the highest XP yielding fights, and a party member missing that can instantly drop them a level or two behind the other participants. And I mean, in the sake of being optimal a bit, that's thousands of XP you now have missed out on, only available from that specific fight. Seems wasteful to me, but again, as all these tips are, just suggestions to have a smoother time throughout Persona 3. And this just happens to be a pet peeve of mine. When I've watched other Let's Plays of Persona 3, people do it constantly, almost religiously, and it feels even worse when a party member was putting in that work, then happens to die to a random crit or unfortunate circumstance, then just not get revived before the end of the fight, and rewarded for the weight they just pulled in the fight. I mean, they are your friends, right?
Are we friends?
No.
Are we gay?
Yes.
All Persona stats. All stats affect one or multiple things. Strength affects all physical type moves damage. Magic affects all magic type moves or spells damage. And endurance affects how much damage mitigation you have from all forms of attacks. Agility affects chances of evading attacks and how accurate your attacks will be, and affects turn order starting after round 2 of turn rotation. Luck affects chance to land critical hits, only physical damage types can crit, and affects your chance of landing status effects. Stop hoarding.
I'm out of MP.
Then use an ether.
But you can't buy ethers.
It's the final battle.
But I only have 85 of them.
Why are you crying?
Take advantage of all the items in the game. It's pretty generous with what and when it gives things out. From what you get in Tartarus, the shops, Elizabeth's requests, and more. So you can dip into your supplies every so often and make sure to not stress using a couple items here and there. Mirror items, buffing sutras, HP and SP healing items, status effect removers, etc. It's free damage.
It's free damage!
Talking about items again, definitely can take advantage of the elemental damage items, whether the single target or AoE ones. They can come in clutch when just wanting to down weak enemies to do an all-out attack to end the fight, also guaranteeing a shuffle time, which you can also do by just making sure the protagonist Makoto gets the final finishing blow on the last enemy standing. It will save your SP, there's no other use for them in the game, and trust me, if you don't look, you'll end up getting a lot and they will just pile up in your bags. Hell, in Persona 4 Golden, once I got my money up, I'd even buy a stock of all single and multi-targeting elemental damage items, like 25 of each before a big dungeon exploration or a grinding session. Rambling on a bit about these items, but I do feel they are so underutilized, and when I see someone playing and completely dry on SP sitting there wondering what to do, when they could have used those items and had up to even a few dozen more fights from just taking advantage of a resource the game is constantly giving you. Tartarus tips. Change the track. Once you get Fuka, you can at some point start asking Fuka for stuff in Tartarus. One thing which is changing the track that's playing in Tartarus. Depending on your mood, the other tracks might be enjoyable to switch over and give yourself a bit of a different atmosphere while exploring the mini floors. Fuka can also eventually send you back down to the entrance of Tartarus from the same menu from any location in Tartarus, eventually making Triesto gems useless. Going back down. Teleporting back to the ground floor will refill all active party members' HP and SP as long as they are not tired or sick. Otherwise, they will inform you they're leaving for the night and won't be available to interact with anymore that night at Tartarus, as they end up going home to rest. So timing your jumps back down to the entrance can be beneficial. Tired party members. A party member becomes tired depending on how many fights they have been in, not really anything else. So just make sure if you're scouring a lower floor with shadows who aren't worth fighting XP-wise to not just fight aimlessly, or the party members will become tired. Also, if you end up teleporting back down to the entrance or proceed to another floor while a party member's unconscious, they will leave Tartarus for the rest of the night's exploration as well.
Screw you guys, I'm going home. But Carmen, we're trying to... screw you guys, home.
Elizabeth's Tartarus request. The request Elizabeth gives you to go into Tartarus to find certain swords can be completed in more than one way. It says to get them from rare chests, but you can also get them from a specific rank of shuffle time weapon cards as well. As far as I'm aware, all are available from at least one corresponding rank of a shuffle time weapon card. And another 2 side notes regarding her request is if it's an item pickup from a certain enemy, you need the request to be accepted before the enemies will start dropping said item. And regarding the requests that require you to get the couple of rare items from Golden Hand encounters, will continue to give you worthless quest items instead of a valuable treasure or nil weapon for weapon fusions. So make sure if you have one of those requests to go to return it as soon as it's finished, or if you happen to run into another Golden Hand encounter, it will essentially be worth nothing until the request is turned in. Let them heal you.
Angela. I need healing.
Talk to any party member with the healing ability and let them do the healing of your party. Just know they will use whatever heal available that is the most effective and efficient, meaning the one that probably costs the most SP. So be aware of how much a party heal up session might have drained your party member's SP. Or if you have a party member with a revive and a second party member unconscious, revive the one with the revive first, and they should auto-revive your other unconscious party member outside of combat, which also applies to in combat as well. Overworld tips. There's more than just Polonium Mall. Take advantage of the facilities and remember that there's at least 1 to 3 different businesses you can go to improve social stats throughout the city, not just the ones at the mall. I didn't even realize that certain shops or restaurants could also raise your social stats at the Iwatodai strip mall. I could have been using just to change up the scenery and experience other places with a benefit. At least I didn't notice until I already had max social stats. Talk, talk, talk. Talk to everyone, all random and non-random NPCs alike, at least every new moon cycle or if you leave and come back from a trip, as usually those are the times the Overworld's NPCs usually will get updated or reset with new dialogue and all that. For world lore, random tips, and interesting things you might have never known if you didn't talk to random NPC 34, girl with short hair on the side of the restaurant over there. Take your medicine before going to the bathroom. If ever tired or sick, before going to the bathroom, which is about a 20% chance of improving whatever your current condition is, then if it's a school day, go to the nurse's office and take some medicine for a free curd social stat boost. Fast travel classmate. The kid in your classroom 2F by the bookcase at the front of the classroom is essentially a way to fast travel from the school at least to anywhere else in the city. Vending machines.
It's coming out, it's coming out. A couple more kicks should do it, wait.
All vending machine drinks are SP restoring items that restore 5 SP apiece. There is no limit of how many of any of the drinks that you want to buy. Personally, just keep an inventory more organized. I pick one specific one like I like the name of and just buy a few dozen of it instead of buying tons of different ones that will just add another line of text to scroll through your inventory. When to leave and return. If you leave the dorm on a day off from school, returning will make it evening time, and if you return to your room once it's evening time, you will instantly be locked into either studying or going to sleep for the night. But if you didn't know, if you leave your room in the morning on a day off, like a Sunday, you can at least return back to your room if you forget to check Tanaka's shopping show, or want to go save before studying or playing the MMO on your laptop with the Hermit Arcana.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Social link tips. Finishing before moving on. If able to, or at least especially with female social links, finish getting one to rank 10 before starting another, to avoid the possible chances of getting reversed or negative social link status. A normal social link has about 90 days of being able to be ignored before it will reverse itself. Hanging with others will subtract from that 90-day total, I think around 10 to 15 days of that timer. Female social links, once they become intimate, will only have around 60 days of non-socializing before they will go into reverse status. So finish one before starting another, or make sure to kind of rotate who you hang out with. In and out of school. Save social links that are out of school for days that you are off from school, such as Sundays and holidays, as they are available during school days and non-school days, whereas the other side of the coin, school-related social links aren't available outside of school. Holidays and school breaks. I recommend saving social links such as the Hangman, the Moon, the Star, and Hierophant for times when you are out of school for a long period of time, like summer break and winter break, as that is a time when only they are available, and so you don't waste your social links' possible days to rank up. Sunday invitations. You can safely ignore or refuse invitations to hang out when invited by social links to chill on a Sunday, without any negative consequences. Only if you have accepted someone else's offer, then accept another invitation for that same Sunday, will it upset your social links.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Gifts, gifts, and gifts. All female social links at least can be given gifts when hanging out with them on a Sunday hangout session. All of them have their preferences and favorite gifts, so you can look up a guide for what gifts everyone loves the most to get a huge boost to a social link's total points of ranking up. Some girls like Fuka require a lot of points than normal to rank up from their 8 or rank 9 ranks. Hanging out with them on a Sunday and giving them a gift can end up saving you from having to hang out with them 2 to 3 times without a rank up to get enough points, just from a single Sunday and a well-selected gift. The friend of my friend. There is multiple social links that are unlocked through ranking up to a certain rank of another social link, like the Strength unlocked from the Chariot Arcana, the Sun unlocked by the Hanged Man Arcana, the Tower unlocked from the Strength Arcana, the Devil by the Hermit Arcana, and a few others. Best weapons in the game are fusion ones. Every party member has a weapon with pretty much max accuracy, 450 damage, and a plus 10 to all stats bonus on them. Just have to know the right personas that fuse into those weapons, which also happen to take 2 days to make instead of just 1 when you fuse them at the antique shop. A possibly divisive tip, but almost everything can be save scummed. Hanging out with social links, attempting to raise your condition in the bathroom, using the shrine to get a fortune to raise the social links points, buying gear in the shop with its random stat and item bonuses, like when buying armor, you can save scum before buying a piece until you get one with the resistance or avoidance to whatever affinity you were looking for, Tartarus boss battles, and more. If emulating, you can use a save state to even more efficiently save scum, and open up the ability to save scum shuffle times, attempts at retreating in battle, such as against the Reaper if accidentally run into him, golden hand encounters and what item they drop after beating them, and more. Social links tend to want to hear answers they would consider agreeing with them, not what is the right in the situation, so keep that in mind. Every social link is available on specific days of the week, except for a few instances. They are always available on their scheduled days of the week. You can find guides of all available social links and what days of the week they are available online. If wanting to do a new game plus run, try to make sure to defeat the Reaper in your previous playthrough and get his bloody button drop item when you have Elizabeth's request to take him down, as finishing this mission will unlock Monad, which is an optional 10th floor section of Tartarus where enemies are max level, get tons of money and tons of experience, and make grinding 10 times faster in a new game plus run. Take advantage of the MC being able to use different weapon types, and keep a small arsenal of choices, and you will see it will make a world's difference when able to pull out a weapon that is going to pull its own weight in a coming fight. An example being if you make the Mjolnir hammer, the fusion weapon made by fusing Thor, does electric damage instead of strike. So if you got a boss coming up you know is weak to electric, you can save from having to cast spells and then just run in there, bonk them with the hammer, and move on your way without even having to call on your persona.
I'm gonna get medieval on your asses.
And that is ViivviiX's Persona 3 Video Game Survival Guide, the first episode of this new series. If you enjoyed and want more content like this, or is focused on Persona 3, go check out the V-Files, my other series.
You should go check that out.
Where at the moment I am doing character analysis videos on playable party members of Persona 3. Not sure about the schedule of this series, but the V-Files drops a new episode every Wednesday at 6 p.m. EST. I also make a variety of music on my music channel, maybe go check your boy out.
You should go check that out.
Link in the description of the video or in the featured channel list on my channel. Make sure to join in the discussion, as that's one of the reasons why I make creative content, and I would love to hear your opinions on my video. Let me know if I missed anything you'd like to add, or if I had any misinformation. Let me know if there's any other games you'd like me to cover or ideas for content types you'd like to see. If the video was an enjoyable experience for you, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It's free, and it makes a world's difference in my never-ending battle trying to climb the walls around YouTube's algorithm. Truly appreciate any and all support, but till next time, make sure to take care of yourself, my friends, and stay cool.